Hi, my name is Eng Taing, CEO and founder of Tozy Capital, and I'm joined by Ryan McKenna, CEO and founder of McKenna Capital. Hi, Ryan.
How you doing, Ang?
Good. I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about Bitcoin wallets today and really highlight some potential options that folks might have. What kind of wallets do you use?
I've got a few. I think one of the more popular ones that a lot of people use is Coinbase. It's an exchange wallet, but they also have their own wallet that you can use as well, even if you don't buy on Coinbase. I use Trust Wallet as well. I have a MetaMask wallet, and I actually have a Ledger wallet as well. That's I'm sure we'll go into some terms here, but that's a would be considered a cold wallet because it's something that's not necessarily connected to the internet, whereas the
Mhm.
hot wallets are the ones that are connected to your phone, the internet, and so yeah, I use a couple different wallets for various reasons. But yeah, for today, I think it's important just for investors to kind of understand and get a feel for setting up a wallet and what you can do with that. And as you get more advanced, you might look at other different features and reasons for why you might have multiple wallets. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. And what wallets are you using?
I use all those and a lot more, mostly with testing. I've had wallets since before Coinbase was available. We had like these legacy wallets, and now there's SegWit wallets, all kind of compatible. We used to have Tor network and all these old stuff that back in the day in the teens when I've had way more Bitcoin. But it was worth like $5 to $10. So you mentioned like hot wallet and cold wallet. I think it's a really good different starting point here. And the other one is exchange wallet. So I think there's some pretty good definition we can talk about here. Both what is an exchange or hosted wallet or custodial wallet versus a non-custodial wallet. So I think the analogy that I like to use is you have a bank that's an exchange or custodian, and you have a safety deposit or bank account. And if you ever forget your password, just show up to the bank, verify your ID, they reset your password. It's a pretty common thing, for folks to forget their passwords. And so in many ways, custodial exchange hosted wallets are probably better for beginners, even though most crypto, fanatics or Bitcoin purists definitely probably say that you're giving your Bitcoin to somebody else, it's not yours. But I think to the extent that we trust these big institutions, we trust like a Chase or we trust a Coinbase or a Kraken, that's sort of the analogy I would take, right? Versus a self-custody wallet, which in my mind is sort of it's the blockchain. It's a random safe that you have in a random place that no one knows about, but everyone can see. But you only have the keys, and without those keys, you can never get access to it, and no one else has it, and you have it. So it's definitely a much more pure way to hold your Bitcoin, but I think it's also slightly riskier if you don't know how to store your passwords. But definitely, where I would probably recommend ultimately to get comfortable with both options, because you do need exchange to ever trade Bitcoin. Although there's options where you can use self-custody wallets to trade Bitcoin as well. But we're not going to cover trading today. We're going to cover wallets. Rand, did that make sense? Was there any questions you might have on that?
No, it made sense. And yeah, one of the things too, I think, just kind of whatever your level of comfort is and as far as, wanting to, kind of take it, step by step. I mean, I think initially I set up an exchange wallet with Coinbase, and
Mhm.
then I learned about the other different security measures you can take and do, and so there's various reasons why someone might want to hold on Coinbase versus holding on a say a non-custodial wallet. And yeah, definitely important when you do set up a wallet to you know keep track of your passwords and the security key, because that's that's really your way of if you lose your password to getting back into your account. And they always say, what is it, you don't have your keys, could lose your crypto, and obviously we wouldn't want that to happen. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that people will store their password key phrase. And so we just want to emphasize that follow all the steps that are laid out. And we're not providing we'll show you an example, but like there, depending upon where you go, there will be steps laid out by whatever, custodial provider or exchange you're working with to set that up. So I would just follow those instructions and then, make sure that you're just, you have some risk management in place to make sure if you did need to access the keys that you can get access to them. So
once you do this, it'll be very much that's easy. This is why don't everything happen like this? This is why cryptocurrency exists, because you can move money or move items in this case coins instantly, to maybe take a few hours in some cases. But yeah, it's very, very easy. And hopefully this guide will help you. So I want to start with getting into one of my exchange addresses, exchange wallets. And in this case, I want to use Coinbase Pro. Now, Coinbase works as well. Right now I'm locked out of my Coinbase account. That's why I'm using Coinbase Pro. But basically, Coinbase Pro is actually a free version of Coinbase. So it's not like it's more expensive. I liked using it because there's 0 fees to transfer USD to USDC, which is a dollar denominated stablecoin. And then from that, you can buy and trade coins on DeFi and other stuff on MetaMask. Anyways, a little bit off tangent, but let's show you guys sort of my version of what I'm looking at on my phone. So I'm going to be using my phone here. Of course, you can use your desktop, and it's probably easier in many ways, but I'm using my phone because this is how I typically use my Bitcoin. And right now, I'm going to go to my Coinbase Pro account, and it's face login. So my portfolio, I have nothing. This is one of my other accounts. And so for when we ask you guys for your Bitcoin address so that we can then send you monthly Bitcoin, essentially what you need to do is essentially look at deposit. I click the deposit button and then Bitcoin. So make sure you don't click anything else because these are other chains. Bitcoin is its own blockchain. And then you have your deposit of crypto address. So only send Bitcoin to this address to make sure that this is going to be the case in almost everything we do here. And then I understand. And when we actually ask you guys for your Bitcoin address, all you need to do is just basically just copy. And just copy that. See that little button? Very easy. And then paste it somewhere and then send it to, and we'll have another guide on how to do that. So,
and one thing just to mention, I know we talked a lot about keys and, keeping those private and not, sharing with others and just, but your Bitcoin wallet address, just want to make that clear that it's not your password. It's just it's almost like the face of your account, right? So like publicly anyone could know that, right? And that's how someone actually could pay you, right? Or you could send money. So I think it's an important point because when I first was doing this, I was like, okay, wait a minute, is that like the password keys that you're not supposed to let anyone know about, but the address, maybe just elaborate a little bit more on that when that's
it's like your account number, right? I could give you my account number, Ryan, and you can go to a bank account number, and you can deposit money into my bank account, but you can't take money out because you need a password. You got to identify yourself as the owner of that account. And in this case, it's a seed phrase or a password. In this case of an exchange, it's just my password into my Face ID, my password into my Coinbase account. And I do want to note, we had some investors asking that your Coinbase account and other exchange accounts rotate their addresses on occasion. So if you copy this one and then you memorialize it as your address, that will be true. It will be your address, but in a few hours, in a day, every other day, every day, this address would change because it's rotating and it's giving you a new one. But all those in the past that you've copied down or provided us is also yours. So don't worry if you see you have a different wallet address. This is just sort of how the security layer works in these exchange hosted custodial wallets, especially Coinbase and Kraken and BlockFi and other stuff like that.
So when you say that, once we have the wallet address in the portal for each investor who wants to receive Bitcoin, even though that changes, that initial address they have in there is totally fine. They're not going to have to update it. It's just kind of a one-time thing. Yeah. And once we have that in, they're good to go.
Yeah. And because it's a custodial wallet, you might not be able to find that wallet address on your Coinbase account, but just know that that's there. And we will be sending you on your first distribution, or at least any distribution to on a wallet that you provide us, we'll be sending you a very nominal amount, around $4 or $5 worth of Bitcoin, 0.0001 Bitcoin. In the past, I've put too many zeros and Coinbase had a minimum deposit. But so we will be sending that deposit to then test. And that's something that we should all do when you send large amounts of Bitcoin. I mean, last month we sent close to 10 plus Bitcoin out to investors. And so we always do a test before we send the full amount. And that's something you guys should do as well, as you move your Bitcoin between wallets until you're very comfortable with it. So any questions there, Ryan?
No, I would just echo that, like, yeah, whenever I'm sending a larger transaction, I'll usually do a smaller one just to make sure that, hey, everything went through. And then once it went through, I just repeat the same process with the larger transaction. It's just a kind of a safety measure. And so, I would imagine, depending upon where the money's going, there might not be a lot of movement, especially if you're going to, hodl your Bitcoin. You really, once you get it set up and have the wallet address, you'll see the distributions coming in, and, you could leave them there, you could move them. It's up to you, how frequent you want to kind of, transfer the funds. But certainly, once you get it set up and you're comfortable with where they are sitting, then, it will be very passive for you, where you won't have to
come as second nature for sure around you. And it takes a little bit of learning, it's a little bit of learning curve, but once you're in, it's actually eye-opening. This is essentially how finance works, or should work. Let's also just show you guys how to withdraw your Bitcoin once you have Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin in this, but you can just then put your wallet address as you like. In this case, I already copied the one that my wallet, so it's kind of just saying it to myself. That wouldn't actually work. And then the amount of Bitcoin, and then they have a fee or something based on what the network congestion is, which, by the way, is what the miners make. So this part just goes back to you guys. Of course, try not to send too much too frequently, or too few too frequently, otherwise you incur more fees, because it kind of doesn't, it scales well. You can send like $1 million worth of Bitcoin or $100 worth of Bitcoin, and the fees will scale very well. It won't be too much more. So that is hosted or custodial or exchange wallet. This essentially, I didn't show you how to sign up for an account. Hopefully you guys know how to sign up for an account. To ask you normal KYC information, your driver license, just to make sure that everything's good. What I want to then transition to is self-custody wallets, or really hot wallets on our phones. And I'm going to use Trust Wallet as an example. I have too many apps. Let me just look for that, and don't look at my screen. So then I have a bunch of multi-coin accounts. This is my wallet. I'm going to create a new wallet. In this case, it's Trust Wallet, and we're going to create a new wallet together. So create a new wallet, pack up your wallet now. Yes. So in this case is secret phrase 12 words. On occasions, some wallets will have 24 words. If you're using a hard wallet, I believe it's also 24. I have a Trezor right here, and that's the other popular one is a Ledger that Ryan has. I believe they're a 24-word wallet. 12 and 24 are very common. So yes, okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's try it. So this is just a seed phrase, and it's very important to write this down to also understand the order. There's no capital word letters, so it's always undercreased. I believe that's right. So in this case, I'm just going to copy, make it easy. Copy. And now just
one thing here, just to mention, like with Coinbase, you'd have a similar process, right? Because when you first set up your account, you're going to have to go through something like this. And we obviously didn't do that, as a tutorial, but just know any wallet you set up is going to have kind of the same process or similar process with the secret phrase, and then just like you said, you can copy that. But normally, I know what I've written this down on a piece of paper. I actually didn't want to put it on my computer because, again, just you always worry about someone maybe hacking, the information or something. So I personally have written it down, and I have it in a safe, and I have it in multiple places, just if I need to access, it. And again, this is really a worst case scenario that, you can't get into your account and you need to basically, reactivate it. And this is very common for every wallet that you would set up. And it's just something that,
Yeah, I'm not sure what you do. You don't tell us. I typically write it down. I also copy and put into some folder that then I put into a digital folder that I then store in a very secure way. I also try not to have too much Bitcoin in any one wallet. So that's just additional fail safe as somebody who has dozens of Bitcoin. So this is your secret phrase. Remember it. I copied it. I just press a copy, which you can do it on an iPhone. Probably sure on any other phone as well. So then you verify your secret phrase. Since I copied it already, I'm just going to very easily just double tap. Actually, copied it in my notes. So it is.
And they make you, verify it. So they want to make sure that you have it either copied or
copied it,
written down, because the only way to get past this next phase is to actually put the words in the exact order that you just saw.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I believe that's correct. Hopefully it works. Your wallet was created successfully. All right. So just name this wallet test wallet. TC wallet. And there's a few things I want to highlight here. This is a multi-coin wallet, so you can receive any coins, but of course it's still a different chain. So if you want to receive receive a coin, in this case Bitcoin, just like your Coinbase account that I showed you, you can copy that. That is your address, and that will not change. So this is the self-custody wallet. This one will not change. This will be tied to you. And so if I want to receive that, I would just send that to us, and then in our process of collecting your Bitcoin addresses. And then of course you can also buy or send. I'm not going to buy anything. And then just keep in mind that Ethereum ERC20 tokens are another very common form of a wallet. If you see an OX in the beginning, it's not a Bitcoin wallet. And we've had some people give us the Ethereum wallets. We can't technically even send it to you guys. If you try to send it to you, it'll be lost in the ether. But we do try to check that. So just make sure you understand the differences. Usually I can tell the difference between a Bitcoin wallet and a Ethereum wallet. I've seen my fair share. So that's a very simple way to essentially receive your wallet. And I want to highlight a few more things. If I wanted to create a new wallet, let's say, let's use a different app. I want to show you what you can do with your seed phrase. And I'm going to load another app, MySlim, which is another recommended app. And we have a couple of articles we can share with you guys on what people recommend. So I'm going to create a new wallet. That would be essentially doing what I just did. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to restore from backup. So the seed phrase is your code to essentially transfer a wallet, and type in the master seed phrase. So that is not what I wanted to type in. Master seed phrase.
That was your Bitcoin wallet address.
That is, yeah. So I'm going to copy that from my notes. I have passphrase. Is that seed phrase? Passphrase. I believe that's
that. Looks like the seed
done.
phrase.
So it is now. I now transferred my Trust Wallet Bitcoin into here. These are just application layers. This is a UI layer. Your wallet is your blockchain ID, and your seed phrase can be transferred into any other type of wallet like this, Mycelium, Electrum, Exodus, any of these other kind of wallets that you have self-custody for. Hopefully that makes sense. Randy, you have any questions on that?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good example of just, again, if you need to restore your account or move it somewhere else, how easy it can be. So yeah, no, that's a good example.
Yeah, so I'm going to show everybody an example of me sending Bitcoin as well. So I'm going to move to one of my other wallets. I have some Bitcoin here, and I'm going to actually waste some fees in this case. I'm going to go to my Coinbase account and show you how I would deposit funds into this account, which I'm sure would love to do because Coinbase and I aren't friends right now. So that's withdrawal. Actually, so deposit Bitcoin, copy this and send. Copy, go to my Trust wallet, and then send. And I send some Bitcoin. So I'll paste exactly what I just copied. I will send a little bit less, $20 for Bitcoin. Okay. And then next, and the network fee be 40.04 cents or 46 cents. And that is a confirm. And I just sent it. So that's how I would send, in this case, a test distribution. It would take a little bit of time. There are ways to then go on the blockchain, and you can see view on Block Explorer. So this is a really cool feature that I can see all the exchanges that happen. What happens when I send you Bitcoin? In this case, it's waiting for confirmation. So it hasn't been sent yet. The miners that we essentially run is what's confirming it. That's where we validate a transaction. Once 1 or 2 miners, in the case, it needs 0 out of 6, so it's 6 miners. Estimation time to confirm is 6 minutes, and I am sending less than this amount transacted. But what's happening is it's a block, and so a bunch of transfers are happening at the same time. People are then, it's algorithmically taken, and in this case, 0.01 Bitcoin is being sent to a bunch of different wallets, and then it's sort of just sent in and taken out. So don't worry, if you look at this, you might think like, oh, I didn't send that much Bitcoin. Oh no, what happened? Aggregating all these other transactions, and then it'll end up being, so to minimize fees, which it's not great for our miners because we don't get as much fees, but then definitely helps, people adopt into Bitcoin. Hopefully that was educational. So this is one of my addresses, and then this is the other address that got $741 Bitcoin. So that's my address. You can see the 33R. And then a good way to think about how to memorize, because it's gonna be hard to memorize your wallet address, is to really just remember the first 3 letters and the last 3 letters. Those, it's much easier and it's generally very distinct. So you can get, so that's how you would confirm it. It's still in status pending. Once it's not pending, I'll see it in my other address, which might take 6 minutes or an hour to receive. So that is essentially a hot wallet because it's connected to internet. I'm basically doing all of it over on internet. But if I wanted to make this a cold wallet, essentially, what is a cold wallet? Is a hot wallet? A hot wallet is connected to internet, and so there's some risks. I think the bigger risk is exchange, because people know where those are, but they have a lot of good security as well, maybe some insurance potentially. A code wallet is essentially an offline disconnected wallet. But guess what? This is a phone that I'm showing you guys right now. If I wanted to just go offline, I would just turn off all my connections. Now it's a code wallet, guys. It's it's connected via this plug, but it's a code wallet. And actually so essentially no one can ever hack it. It's essentially just like a ledger or a Trezor. I've had some people tell me to have an old phone, iPhone or whatever phone, leave it in your desk. It's as long as it's not disconnected, no SIM card, etc. Essentially acts as a code wallet. So those are the differences between code and hot wallet. Hopefully that was educational, and hopefully I can send my Bitcoin back because you saw my seed phrase. All right. Any questions on that, Ryan?
No, I think that was a good example of just how to send, the Bitcoin from one wallet to the next. And the first step usually is to set up, a hot wallet. And then from there, if you want to do a cold wallet, you certainly can. But as far as for purposes of us sending distributions, we just need a Bitcoin wallet address. And we'll do a test, as you mentioned, first, a small amount, and then we'll send the normal larger distribution after that's been confirmed. So we'll make sure that everything is up and running. But as far as you getting comfortable with what wallet you want to use, there's definitely several out there, and it would be good to watch whatever tutorial or follow whatever steps are laid out for that particular wallet. And then once you have it set up and you can get in, you'll be able to access your Bitcoin wallet address, and that's what we'll need to have loaded up into the portal. We have an easy process for that. We'll lay out the steps and give you instructions for doing that. But that's really, at the end of the day, I know there's a lot of different verbiage we've used, and we've tried to be overly cautious. Really, you get a level of comfort once you've done it a few times. But I remember my first time, it was, I didn't really understand it all. And I was kind of like worried. But once I did it and I was able to get more familiar with it, it became kind of second nature now. And so, I think that was a good example, kind of run through of, how to set up a wallet, and then, how to actually use it if you want to transfer the funds out, or you want, send them to a different wallet, or a cold wallet.
Yeah, I think it's very easy once you get a handle of. Nowadays, I've sent millions of dollars for crypto in one go, and this is sort of like what we do on our side. Now, I just trying to highlight one transaction. This was sent a couple of days ago to our previous fund. Ryan's and my wallet is part of it. So we sent to 199 addresses. These are all Bitcoin addresses. I can tell some of them are legacy addresses, some are SegWit addresses. Don't need to worry too much about the difference there. And you can see we tend to just do a huge send with a button. And in this case, it costs us $16 of Bitcoin fees to send $11,000 of Bitcoin. So this is what we'll be doing on a monthly basis. Looking forward to sending you guys Bitcoin to your wallet addresses, and for you guys to get on this journey with us in the world of crypto and Bitcoin.
Yeah. Thank you all.